We're back with our daily MLB Best Bets here on Saturday, April 19th. We're going to get a full 5 bets in, hopefully today after yesterday. The Nationals-Rockies game got snowed out. We'll get to that later and our other 4 best bets in this video. But folks, before we get into the best bets themselves, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Later today, in a couple hours actually, we're going to have our first NBA playoffs predictions and best bets. 4 games today in the association. Make sure to check out that video dropping at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Again, that's here on the channel. And also tomorrow we are going to have our UFC Kansas City predictions with Ian Machado, Gary, and Carlos Prates in the main event over on Greedo Plays MMA. Greedo Plays MMA is linked in the description down below. Go subscribe over there. We are nearing 1,000 subscribers. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets today for the MLB. We're going to kick things off at Comerica Park for the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Royals. Minus 130 isn't the best, but you gotta take the spots that you can get. All right, I'm taking the Tigers at minus 130 here. I think they feel like a pretty good lay here to beat the Royals. I'm not just saying that because Detroit's beat them in the first 2 games of the series, right? I'm saying that because we look at the pitching matchup tonight. I think it's very favorable for the Tigers. We get Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals, who I don't think is all that bad, has given up runs in all of his starts so far, but has given the Royals a lot of depth in each start that he's gone out there and given them. I mean, each game, it seems like Lugo is going into the 6th inning for Kansas City, which is great. I mean, some games he has gone into the 7th. The thing is, he will give up runs, and Lugo's, has not, the least amount of runs he's given up in each start so far is 2, which, again, that's not horrible. That'll play. But you're going to score off of Seth Lugo. And the Tigers' bats have been, hitting fairly well. Yesterday, they won 7-3 against the Royals. And this team's hot right now, man. Detroit's a 7-1 team at home in Detroit, Michigan. And they're 12-8. They're one of the best teams in the American League. And they're sending Casey Mize to the mound tonight. Mize fully reaching his potential, I'd say, at this point. The guy's been pitching fairly well this year. He is coming off his worst start of the season on Sunday in Minnesota against the Twins. Goes 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs allowed. Gives up 2 long balls to Minnesota. But prior to that, right, 2 really good starts. Gets you 5 2/3 shutout innings against Seattle. And then goes 6 innings, 1 run against the New York Yankees. Casey Mize is legit. Right? I mean, it kind of took a little bit, but now at 27 years of age, it looks like Mize is fully, again, I don't know if he's everything that we thought he was going to be when he was in AA and when he got drafted or whatnot, but Mize is really coming into his own now. He's having a tremendous season, and obviously he's evolved over his major league career. Spencer Torkelson, right, a guy who we were kind of just about, is having a good season, and really everything's coming together for Detroit. They feel like the best team in the American League Central. There's some good teams in this division, don't get me wrong, and Kansas City is one of them. Cleveland is obviously a really good team too. But I'm not just saying that because the Tigers right now, you look at the standings, they have the best record. No, I mean, they're playing like the best team in the division. We know their pitching's great. We knew that going into the season. We knew that in the playoffs last year. We knew that throughout the course of their regular season last year, right? When they made that miraculous comeback to scratch and claw their way into the playoffs with the 6th seed. I mean, we knew how good this team's pitching was. It was just it was just a matter of if the bats can perform, and they are performing right now. I understand we're only 20 games into the season, but I really like what this team's doing. I mean, hell, once known as a weak spot to this lineup, Javier Baez. I mean, it's not like Baez has been god-awful so far this year. I know he went 0 for 4 yesterday, but Baez is batting .265 this season. OBP over 300. I mean, for Baez in the big 2025, that's playable. And you know what the Tigers do, right? They have a rotation of guys they're going to platoon. They use everybody on this 26-man roster, and it works for them. And I think Gleyber Torres has been an excellent signing to this team. Torres batting third pretty much every single night, giving them an average over 300. Look at Riley Green in the 4 spot. He's been fantastic like he was last year as well. If this Tigers team can stay healthy and they can continue to platoon guys and continue to really expand their depth, I mean, my goodness, this is going to be such a tough team to beat this year. And I really like, again, we're going to get out the pitching here with Casey Mize tonight. I mentioned this the other day when we were talking about the Tigers, and I'll say it again, guys. Detroit started the year 0-3, right? They lost every single game they played against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers, congrats, you won your World Series. That doesn't sound right. They were celebrating like they won the World Series because they beat the low payroll Detroit Tigers. It is what it is. But, right, this Tigers team starts 0-3. Since that, they're 12-5. This is a good team that's won back-to-back games over the Kansas City Royals. A team that we did talk about the other day, right? Because we had Bobby Witt's over on total bases, and he did hit that. I don't know. They're so just mid other than Bobby Witt. I think that goes without saying. I mean, we watched them in that playoff run last year, right? They've got talent, but this team is centered around Witt. And once you go beyond Witt, I mean, Pasquantino's not really killing it so far this year. Didn't have a bad game yesterday, but it's not like Pasquantino's blowing anyone away this season. Same with Salvi. So far, obviously. Again, we are 20 games into the season. I think the Royals were 21 games in, but regardless, right? I mean, we're still very young in the season, but the bats other than Witt have not been the best. I mean, they've gotten decent starting pitching, depending on the night. I know Raggins wasn't great yesterday, but he obviously had the 13 strikeout game earlier in the year. But the Tigers, man, this is a scrappy bunch that's going to find ways to, put runs on the board. And other than Bobby Witt, I really can't rely on anybody in this Kansas City lineup. That's why I think it's a fairly easy pick today for the first game that we have today. Minus 130 for the Detroit Tigers, siding with Casey Mize and the guys here. I think they will beat the Royals. This isn't really, again, I'm not like completely just fading Seth Lugo here. I just like what we get out of Detroit. And I think it's yet another favorable matchup for them. I think they win their third consecutive game over the Kansas City Royals. We're going with Detroit here at home to beat the Royals. We go on to our second best bet of the video. We go to Camden Yards over in Baltimore, Maryland. We've got the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Cincinnati Reds. I'm going with the Cincinnati Reds. I know. Yeah, we're picking the Reds to win a baseball game, a team that at times struggles to put any runs across the board. They've been better recently. I mean, hell, we can date back to the last game of that Seattle series, right? Take the lead in the bottom of the 8th, you give it up in the 9th. Regardless, that's fine. You lose in the 10th inning. But at least that game showed, okay, Cincinnati's more than capable of scoring runs now. And I think it was apparent yesterday. You look at the game that they had against the Orioles in Baltimore, winning that game 8-3. Elly De La Cruz has been excellent. I know the average isn't what, you would want it to be maybe, but Elly De La Cruz, again, sure, just like yesterday, he gives you one hit, but his one hit's a 400-foot home run. That's just what Elly is. He's got crazy pop, and he's one of the better shortstops in all of the game. Austin Hayes has had a good start to the season. He went 2 for 4 yesterday. And I know the lineup, again, you look at it from you look at the Reds lineup, and you're seeing, okay, well, Spencer Steer bats 111. Jeimer Candelario is batting 123. Mlb Marte is batting 083. I understand that, sure. But you got guys like Elly, Austin Hayes, Santiago Espinal has been pretty decent. Matt McLain's going to give you a lot of pop from the leadoff spot. Obviously, hit a home run yesterday in the 4th inning. Hell, Candelario did as well. On top of that, though, we're not picking the Reds because of their hitting, especially for today. I wouldn't really, not normally would I just go into a Reds game and take Cincinnati. I'm taking them today because Hunter Green's pitching. I think that goes that should be to the surprise of absolutely nobody. Hunter Green so far, him and Yoshinobu Yamamoto have looked like the 2 best pitchers in the National League right now. Paul Skeens, there's your top 3. As of the first 4 starts these guys have had this season, right? Those have looked like the 3 best guys, at least in the NL. Right, Hunter Green so far this season, he's gone 4 games, he's pitched over 7 innings in 3 of those 4 starts, and the guy's given up 3 total runs this season. 0.98 ERA for Hunter Green. Back-to-back starts where he did not give up a run. This guy has gone now 16 consecutive innings without giving up a single run. I think that's pretty good. In the 2 games that Cincinnati has played with Hunter Green, the 2 last games Cincinnati has played with Hunter Green on the mound, they have not given up a singular run. Last game Green started was against the Pirates. They won 4-0. Game prior to that in San Francisco, they beat the Giants 2-0. I know the start before that, Hunter Green gives up 1 run against the Texas Rangers. The Rangers win the game 1-0. If the Reds offense goes anywhere, or gives us anywhere near the effort, okay, that they gave against the Mariners and the Orioles the last couple days, we are going to be fine. Because Hunter Green max is going to allow 1 run, it feels like, at this point. And we'll talk about the Orioles bats in a second. So as long as Cincinnati is able just to muster a couple runs, I think we're going to be fine. On the mound for Baltimore is Brandon Young. Young making his first start of the season at 26 years old from Lumberton, Texas. All right, it's his first major league start. I believe his first major league appearance, if I'm not mistaken. All right, cool. Not a big sample size on him just yet. I expect Cincinnati, with it being Young's first start, I think the Reds are going to be able to play a couple runs. It's a tough matchup for Brandon Young, especially against one of the league's best pitchers right now in Hunter Green, right? I'm pretty confident in the Reds today. I am pretty confident. And the O's bats, man, I mean, what an underwhelming team so far, Like, guys, let's take the 2 DC, or let's take the 2 Maryland-ish teams, with the Nats the DMV teams with the Nationals and the Baltimore Orioles. Let's compare them. I don't want to make everything Nationals centered because we're going to talk about the Nationals in a little bit in a second. Guys, the Nationals are the Nationals. Their big free agency pickup was Josh Bell, and I get it, the Orioles did nothing in the offseason except for let Anthony Santander walk. But guys, the Orioles have all that expectation. They're 8-11. The Nationals are 7-12. And yes, am I just coping with the fact that the Nationals suck? 100%. But, I mean, at least we could be the reigning, back-to-back playoff team who's 3 games under 500 right now. I have no ill will towards the Orioles. I'm just saying, I don't know. I guess it's just making myself feel a little bit better about the Nats. Regardless, guys, the O's have struggled this year, right? Adley Rutschman batting 200. Gunnar hasn't been great coming back from the injury, batting 220. Tyler O'Neill's cooled down. I mean, guys, the top 4 guys in this lineup yesterday all went 0 for 4. Adley, Gunnar, Tyler O'Neill, Ryan Mountcastle. None of those guys are batting over 250. Cedric Moulton's the only guy in the entire team that's batting over 260. Curtis Stodd's batting 260. I mean, batting 255. This is rough. Jordan Westberg, good player. He's batting 175 this year. Povich yesterday gave up a bunch of runs for Baltimore. Tonight they go to a guy making his first ever major league start. I think everything kind of points to the Reds here. We're taking Cincinnati in this spot. I don't care that the game's in Baltimore. The Orioles just have not looked good. I'm taking the Reds to beat them outright. So give me Cincinnati minus 125 on the road with Hunter Green on the mound. Next up, we go to our daily Washington Nationals best bet of the day. And yes, it is money line again. It's kind of just a repeat of yesterday. I know, again, the game yesterday got snowed out in Colorado, which I believe the snow cleared for when the game actually started, because I said yesterday, I looked at the weather forecast, and I did. The snow stopped like an hour before the game. I guess, again, you gotta tarp the field, and, no one's gonna get to warm up or whatnot. They didn't want to delay it and push it back. It's already cold enough, whatever. They're gonna do a doubleheader on Sunday, which is odd. So they're gonna be playing post Sunday night baseball on Sunday night. So we're gonna get to that tomorrow. It's gonna be a weird one. But they just reschedule, obviously, yesterday's game to Sunday. So today's game here on Saturday is still at the normal time at 1:10. Okay. Same pitching matchup as yesterday, though. So Mackenzie Gore and Chase Dollander just get pushed back to today, obviously. And then we get the pitching matchups on Sunday of likely Jake Irvin, Kyle Freeland. I don't know who's going to be pitching game 1 or game 2. And then Brad Lord and Senzatella for the Rockies. Okay. We'll get to that tomorrow, right? Mackenzie Gore, Chase Dollander on the mound. I mean, I'll be honest, nothing really changes from yesterday, right? We still expect the Nationals to win. It gives the Rockies another day off. They did not play on on Thursday. The Nationals did play on Thursday. So if anything, it does help the Nats get their bullpen back. Bullpen that they were kind of worked in that Pittsburgh series, but I mean, towards the end of that series, Jose A. Ferrer went 2 out of 3 games in that series, but no one really had to go back to back. So, I mean, I guess it's fine. They get another day off. And the Sunday night game tomorrow is not going to hurt them because the Nats or the Rockies play on Mondays. So that's why they were able to do that and not schedule the doubleheader for tonight instead. I'm okay with that. And I'm sure the Nationals did not want to stay another day in Colorado and play that game on Monday morning or Monday, early Monday morning. So they just decided to do the doubleheader on Sunday. I'm okay with that. But the thing about this game is I think the Nats do get it. It's just Mackenzie Gore's on the mound. Chase Dollander's pitching for the Rockies again. Nothing really changes from our pick yesterday. So minus 130 is the play for the Washington Nationals. You guys see what happened at Citi Field with Juan Soto? Again, I want to make this very clear. I have no ill will towards Juan Soto. I appreciate everything Soto did for the organization. He got us James Wood. But we're giving this guy a standing O in Queens. This guy got, $750 million in the offseason? He's there for 15 seasons, and we got to motivate this guy to swing a baseball bat? I mean, come on. And, these guys are freaking out in New York that he, drove in a run on the RBI single. What is the guy batting, 220? I mean, guys, James Wood's having a good year. Average-wise, he hasn't been great, but James Wood's batting 235, and he still got the same average as Juan Soto, if not better. I find it ridiculous. We got to motivate this guy to play baseball. Again, he's just having a rough start. I find it kind of funny, right? You give this guy $750 million, and we're clapping, we're giving him a standing ovation. Okay, here's the difference between what the Mets were trying to do and what the Phillies did for Trey Turner, okay? When Trey Turner got that applause from the Phillies fans, that was just the Phillies fans being assholes, because that's what Philadelphia is, and obviously it turned it around for Trey Turner, and again, I'm sure there were some people that were cheering for Trey Turner that actually meant, they meant good in that, but there were definitely, a good portion of the Philly fans that were just trying to be dicks to Trey Turner. The Mets fans actually think this is going to motivate Juan Soto. What are we doing? Anyways, I'm just saying, James Wood's better than Juan Soto. Just you wait. Can we do a standing O for Dylan Cruz? Actually, not. Dylan Cruz is batting fine. He's batting 140 right now. Regardless, we're taking the Nationals today on the money line, minus 130. I think they're going to get the Rockies today, and I feel pretty good about that. So give me Nationals minus 130. Let's go on to our next game here. We move to our Nerfy of the day. So again, we got the 3 money lines out the way. Now we got a Nerfy, and then we'll close the day with our best player prop. Okay, best Nerfy of the day, White Sox, Red Sox. Okay, I know we got bit in the ass in the last White Sox Nerfy we played. It was White Sox A's. The White Sox went down in order in terms of their bats. They didn't do anything, but of course they gave up a run. Okay, I think it was a Jacob Wilson double that got us. All right. All right, hear me out. I kind of like what we get today in this matchup. There's no doubt in my mind that the White Sox don't score in the first run. Like, it's first inning. They're not going to score off of Garrett Crochet. It's not going to happen. Okay? Crochet is going to find his way to get 3 outs against, it doesn't matter who he faces. Oh, Benintendi's batting second. Oh, no. It doesn't, I don't care who the White Sox bat 1 through 3. It doesn't matter. We've picked Garrett Crochet actually already multiple times this season on the Nerfy. He's perfect this year on Nerfies, okay? And Crochet's last start against the White Sox, he went 7 1/3 innings last Sunday, 7 1/3, gave up 1 hit and 1 run and 1 walk. Yeah, there's a reason this guy got all that money. Garrett Crochet is going to be okay. He's going to get us the outs. The concerning part is Shane Smith and the Chicago White Sox. But guys, hear me out. Shane Smith has actually been the #1 guy for Chicago this season, okay? He's been by far their best guy. 3 starts this year, 2.04 ERA. The White Sox have not won a game in which Shane Smith actually started, but it's not his fault, I don't think. I mean, you give up 2 runs in 6 innings in 2 out of your 3 starts. I feel like you put your team in a pretty good position to win the baseball game, right? Like, again, yeah, you could be better, but the one start where he did go 6 shutout innings against the Cleveland Guardians, the Guardians end up scoring later in that game. They score 1 run. The White Sox score 0. Chicago loses that game 1-0 in Cleveland at Progressive Field of the Guardians. Shane Smith's been surprisingly really good this year. The one thing that is a little bit concerning is the high walk rate. At times he'll let counts get away from him, especially if he does get behind in counts early. I think Shane Smith is able to get us 3 outs though, guys. I think he's going to. Okay, guys, Duran and Devers really haven't been swinging the hottest bat right now. They're not. Again, those are good baseball players. We know, again, the struggles that Devers had early in the season. I guess he's still, adjusting to being a designated hitter with Bregman playing third base every day. Okay, whatever. Alex Bregman's good. We know that. And yes, the Red Sox did score yesterday. It was a Trevor Story, 3-run blast that broke the Nerfy yesterday. And Trevor Story, surprisingly, is batting .321 this season. Maybe finally paying off that contract the Red Sox gave him. That's great. It's the middle of the order here, though, out of Boston that we got to really be scared about. The top of the order, though, I think Shane Smith's able to bank 2 outs right away. Jalen Duran, maybe if he uses a tennis racket, he'll be able to get a hit off of Shane Smith. And then Rafi Devers, I think we're okay there, honestly. And then you get righty-righty on Alex Bregman. Sign me up. Bregman's batting .309, sure. OBP's at .370. All right. Give me 1 out there, Shane Smith. Again, this is a guy who has not let starts get away from him yet, right? We talked about, okay, yes, there's been some walk problems a little bit this year, especially in his first start against Minnesota, but the last start that he had against the Red Sox, it was the same game Garrett Crochet pitched, right? The guy goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. That's going to play, Impressed by that last start as Shane Smith. I think, again, the Nerfy hit last Sunday in the same exact pitching matchup. Why wouldn't it hit today? Shane Smith, not the strikeout guy that Garrett Crochet is going to be, right? Crochet in that last start had 11 strikeouts. Shane Smith had 3, but it is what it is. Shane Smith pitched a contact type of guy, and he's going to find a way to get outs. He forces soft contact, and he's, I think, going to get us these 3 outs in this game. So I'm okay with this. Chicago, we know they're abysmal, right? They still have not won a game away from the South Side yet. They are 0-7 on the road this season, and we don't expect them to win this game, obviously. The Red Sox beat them yesterday at Fenway 10-3. We expect the Red Sox to get it done again. They're minus -320 favorites today, but the Nerfy I feel pretty good about, and I think we get it at a pretty good price as well. Minus -120 for the no runs in the first inning. Again, we know Garrett Crochet is going to get that for us. I believe Garrett Crochet has successfully hit the Nerfy every single time this season. He had a tough one that we had early in the year where he loaded the bases in his second start, and he still got out of it. He loaded the bases with 1 out, and he got out of it. Garrett Crochet has been great in Nerfies all year long. The one concern is Shane Smith. When we look at it, again, matchup-wise, okay, Shane Smith versus Jarren Duran. All right, I think we're okay there. Even, Devers, who I know is good and can be good, but I think Shane Smith can get him in the first inning. And then we just need to find a way to get Bregman or Trevor Story out, unless one of those guys go yard. I think we're okay. So we're going to take the nerf here. Shane Smith, Garrett Crochet, White Sox, Red Sox, and Boston. Go get us 6 outs, and let's hit on back-to-back nerfies here like we did yesterday with the Angels and the Giants. Speaking of the Angels and the Giants, that's our final best bet of the night. It's our best player prop of the day. The late game tonight, 6:38 p.m. from Anaheim, California. I'm taking Kyle Hendricks over 3.5 strikeouts. Now, I wish the line was better. I'm not going to lie to you, but I feel like this is almost a lock. Almost guaranteed to hit. Again, you're playing the juice a little bit here on -140. I understand. We're going to go with the veteran here in Kyle Hendricks. 35 years of age. He's going to get 4 strikeouts tonight. He's going to. Historically, Kyle Hendricks has pitched everyone really well on this Giants team. He has. Let's look at this right now. So Kyle Hendricks against Willy Adames, who is in this Giants lineup, obviously came from the Brewers last season. Adames playing every day for San Francisco. Yeah, Adames is 4 for 23 against Kyle Hendricks, and he struck out in 9 of those at-bats. Mike Yastrzemski is 1 for 13 against Kyle Hendricks, and he struck out in 4 of those at-bats. Wilmer Flores is 3 for 21, only struck out 3 times. But regardless, Yastrzemski's had trouble with Adames. Hell, Matt Chapman's 0 for 7 against Kyle Hendricks with 2 strikeouts. Lamont Wade's 4 for 11 with 2 strikeouts. Lamont Wade's by far the best hitter against Kyle Hendricks. But guys, as a team, the San Francisco Giants bat 146 against Kyle Hendricks, 13 for 89 against Hendricks with 22 Ks. I'm okay with that. I really am. Hendricks pitching at home here against a team that he has a lot of confidence against a lot of batters. Again, he's seen so much success with. And yeah, I'm okay with this, guys. Heliot Ramos, another all-star player for San Francisco. Yeah, he's 0 for 5 with a strikeout against Kyle Hendricks. They've all struggled against him. Patrick Bailey 0 for 5 with a strikeout. Every single guy that you look at this team, except for Lamont Wade, who, yes, excels against right-handed pitching, struggles against Kyle Hendricks. And we look at Kyle Hendricks' starts so far this season. 3 starts. He hit this line in 2 of them. I expect Kyle Hendricks to give us great length in this game. I do. I expect him to go more than 5. So the 3 starts Kyle Hendricks has had this season. First start, 6 innings. Second start, 5 innings. Third start, 4 innings. They've all been on the road, which I think does mean something, right? Kyle Hendricks has not gotten to pitch in front of his home crowd yet. But his first start in St. Louis, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. Second start in Tampa Bay, 5 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, 4 strikeouts. Houston start, 4 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, 1 strikeout. Okay, that's an outlier. That's okay. This is against a Giants team that just hasn't been able to hit him at all. It's Hendricks' first ever start at home, being a member of the Los Angeles Angels, obviously signing in the offseason. And if we're able to get through a lot of these batters quickly, it's going to make up for a lot of ABs, right? He's going to go deep into this game. It's just a great matchup for him. It is rare you see a guy who's been in the league for so long, like Kyle Hendricks, World Series champion with the Chicago Cubs, pitched 11 years over there. It is rare you see a guy like Kyle Hendricks, right, who's, again, pitched so long, have such a good ERA against an individual team, because there's been so many opportunities for these guys against Kyle Hendricks. And with all due respect to Kyle Hendricks, he was good again, 4 years ago he was really good. 8 years ago he's really good. Hendricks has been, I'm not going to say he's a bad pitcher. He hasn't been elite in a very long time. He just hasn't. Guys, last year in Chicago he had a 5.29 ERA, right? He hasn't had a sub-3 ERA since 2020, right? That's just what Hendricks is. But he does have ownage against this Giants team. He's been very good against this Giants team, at least the batters on this Giants squad, right? Regardless if he's seen Chapman and, in Toronto or Oakland or whatnot. Hendricks has been really good against these guys, and I'd expect him to do it again today. So I'm taking Kyle Hendricks over 3.5 strikeouts. Again, I don't love the line. I usually try to get closer to, again, the -130 range. -135 is usually the most I go. But -140, again, it's over 3.5 strikeouts against a team that he's owned throughout the course of his career. And he's already hit this in 2 out of 3 starts this year. And one of the starts he didn't even really look that good in. He'll be fine, right? The only start that he had this year that he didn't hit this line was in a start that he got hammered early against the Astros, only went 4 innings, and only had 1 strikeout. And the other starts that he's had this year, he has easily gone over this line. Well, not easily, but he has gone over this line. I think tonight he's going to easily go over it, though. I did think about bumping this to the alt strikeout line of over 4.5. I think you get plus 160 for that. I would think about it. If you want to, I'd sprinkle on that just because, I think he's going to go way longer in this game than he has. But I think the safest bet by far is just go minus 140 here for Kyle Hendricks. I really feel like he's going to find a way to get 4 strikeouts like he did in his first 2 starts. He'll get it done. First home start in Anaheim for Hendricks as an Angel. He'll get it done and get us the 4Ks. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here for April 19th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. And make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back later today for our NBA predictions and best bets for the first round of the NBA playoffs, released today on Saturday. And make sure again to join us tomorrow for more daily MLB Best Bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.